Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So today we're going to be covering the market of old school RuneScape. I haven't made one of these videos in about 3 months time, so it's been a very long time. I want to see what's happening in the market. Things are going up and things are going down. It's always interesting to see. Another reason I really curious about this is because I'm going to be starting my Tutorial Island to Twisted Bow account back up, and the goal of that account is to eventually one day get a Twisted Bow, and I'm going to be doing a ton of different money making methods in that series in order to get the Twisted Bow. So let's see what items make money. Also, I want to say to the one person in the comments who says other YouTubers make these types of videos, you don't need to. I don't understand what that logic is, because other old school RuneScape YouTubers play an Iron Man and so do I. What? Okay, the first item I'm going to be looking at today is the Twisted Bow. So this is the last month of the Twisted Bow, 1.5 billion basically, right? It had a little bit of a decrease, and it looks like it's pretty much exactly the same price. Let's look at the past quarter of the item, and it seems to just be honestly going up. 1.3 bill continuously going up, right? Yeah, not looking good for that series of mine. This is a sad item. This is the Blood Rune, and it pretty much is going to be always sitting at about this price now, because you can actually sell them to LA in the desert for 200 GP. So if we look at the past quarter, it's pretty much the exact same. Even the past year, oh, the good old days, right? When it was like, you know, above 200 GP, but it's pretty much going to stay at this price point now. This right here is the Nature Rune, and I was wondering if the Scar Essence mine would actually impact this at all, but it looks like it's stable at the same price the past month anyways. Let's look at the last quarter. Yeah, it's pretty much actually increased in price over the last quarter, just by a little bit. We'll go to the past year. Yeah, again, the good old days for rune crafting has come to an end, where it was 137 GP each, and it's dipped quite a bit from there. This is the Fire Rune, 5 GP. Yeah, it doesn't look honestly like this has been affected whatsoever, really. This is the past year of the Fire Rune. I was just wondering now, because you can craft so many runes, if that would have a price or effect on the economy. But I mean, you do lose money from the method, so I didn't think it would. So Woodcutting's had a bunch of updates recently, and I haven't checked this item in a while. The Dragon Axe. So anyways, it looks like it's pretty much almost the exact same in the past month. We go to the past year of the Dragon Axe, right? You remember when these things were 40k, right? And then they had a huge increase, I guess, when Woodcutting update eventually did come out. And they were stable for quite a while, right? But they are currently 100-ish thousand GP, so quite a big increase from last year. Alright, so we got a Fordos Prayer potion. At the start of last month, it was about 8.8k, and they're about 8k now, so they've actually dropped a little bit. Let's look at the last quarter for them. Yeah, I remember the days when they were 10,000 GP each. It seems like a lot of the items that were kind of like always stable are just very low right now. We'll even look at the past year of this item, right? With certain updates, obviously they're going to spike, right? But 9,500, they were a high of 10.5k, and now they're about 8.3k. So next we have the Enhanced Crystal Weapon Seed, the item used to make the Bofa. So yeah, it's around 100 mil last month, and it's about 110 million this month. That would have been a really good investment. It had a high of 125 million GP. We'll check out the last quarter of this item. It did dip a lot. I remember when I got it, it was around like 130 million. It went very low, like down to under 100 mil, but it looks like it went back up a little bit. Yeah, and we'll check the past year of this item too. Wow, at some point it was 160 million GP. I got it around like 130, something like that. But yeah, it went from 163 down to 110 million in a year. So right here we've got the Dragon Hunter Lance, 33 million last month, 33.6 million. It's increased a little bit to 35 million GP. You'll love to see that. Let's check the past quarter. I remember the days, man, when this was 40 million GP. I think that's actually when I bought it on my alt. Big mistake, and I think it's, yeah, I think I sold it around 30 million, but yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, 35 mil now. Let's check the past whole year of this item. Yeah, it had a high of 46 million GP, and now it's down to 33.9 million. So here is the Osmond's Fang, right? We look at it, this was 34 million GP September 24th, and now it's only 25 million GP. So if you have that much money, buy this item. Honestly, it's such a good item. So the Osmond's Fang is a really cool item, and it's only 26 million GP now, so I'm going to probably buy one for this account. I've never seen it really be that low, and it's one of my favorite weapons in the game. I spent 3 months trying to get this item on my Ironman account, but for that price, I'm going to buy it now. And the fact that it's this low is actually kind of scary, to be honest. I don't know how many people are doing the Tombs of a Masket. We'll check the past quarter of this item. It had a high of 49 million GP, and look at this just continuous decrease. Even the past year, right? Remember, when this came out, it was like 140 million GP around there, something, maybe even higher than that, and just continuously fallen. It's a great item. You should buy it now. Good old Dragon Claws. Let's see how stable they are. 92 million GP at the start of last month, and now they're 90, so they didn't go down too much. The past quarter of them, right? Wow, they were 87 million. They had a high of 98. Now they're sitting at 90. In the past year of them, right, they've been all over the place. 90 million up to almost 100 million, down again. Very low point of 83 million. You should have bought them in April, and now it looks like they're kind of recovering a little bit, but who knows when they update the Chambers of Xeric, how this will affect the prices. ZRA Skills is always an important item to check out. So they're last month 98 GP, and now they're actually 120. So it looks like they're going up. Maybe they're fixing the botting problem, probably not, but that's a pretty good increase for just a month, right? That's pretty good. Let's check the past quarter of them. 120. They had a low of 84, and then they had a huge. It looks like they're recovering like fully now from pretty much almost exactly to where they were a month ago. And let's check the whole year for this item, right? Oh my god, I remember the days where these were 200-300 GP each. ZRA was such a great way to make money, and you know, so like the past year 200, and now they're 100, so 50% less. So right here we have the Attun Shadow, basically the mage version of the Twisted Bow, right? 1.4 billion. It's kind of doing the exact opposite of what the Twisted Bow is doing, so it's just going down, which is interesting. Let's check the past quarter for it, right? It was going up a ton, probably because of, I would assume, Desert Treasure 2. All the bosses and stuff like that. Maybe it made a pretty big increase, but now it's just really going down. So yeah, you would have lost a lot of money if you bought one of these. Even if we check the past year, 1.5, right, had a huge decrease, and now it's 1.4 billion. So you didn't lose too much if you've had it for a year, but you're still down a little bit. Okay, so this is the Dragon Bone, 2000 GP at the start of last month, and now it's almost 2500 GP. Maybe Jagex is doing something about the botting problem, because that seems like a huge increase for just a month. If we check the past quarter out, it looks like Dragon Bones honestly have been just going up. They were last year, or last month anyways, I should say, about 2000 GP, and now they're 2400. And if we check the last year, right, there was a point where they were 3500 each, right? And then they went down and down, and then around somewhere around here, they were talking about adding the new prayers into the game. Maybe it was even before that, and then that kind of got kiboshed, so they went down again. But it looks like they're recovering, right, which is cool to see. Maybe the botting problem is actually being looked into. Right here we got the good old Bandos chestplate, 32 million GP, I guess had a high of 33 million, and it looks like it's dropping a little bit. We'll check the past quarter for it. At one point in the past quarter, 34 million. The past year, we'll even look at that. So yeah, it's actually increased from the past year, which is very interesting, right? I guess less people are doing the old bosses, moving into the new one, so less probably are coming into the game. 27 million GP last year, and 32 million GP now. What a good increase. Okay, this is the Sidom And Brew, last month 10.4k, and now it's about 12.2k, which is a good increase for just a month. We'll check the past quarter on this item. It had a very low point of about 8.6, and it looks like it's skyrocketing again, which is really interesting to see. And the past year, basically 10,000 GP, and it's a bit above that now. So it looks like You can make a little bit of money maybe with Herblore. It depends, I guess. Maybe less people are training it. I don't really know, right? You can tell the spikes with it are certain updates that come into the game, of course. But it's pretty stable, I would say, compared to most of the items on this list. Okay, so this is a skilling item, gold ore, 200 GP at the start of last month, and we're currently a little bit lower than that, about 188. We'll check the past quarter of gold ore. Something crazy happened here. I don't know, maybe a boss came out or something that dropped a shit ton of gold ore, but it seems stable for the most part. Even the past year, let's see. There was a point where gold ore was 300 GP. That's insane, but it looks like it dropped a lot, and it's kind of stable for the most part. Okay, this is the Snapdragon C 32,000 GP, and right now it's currently 32,000 GP. It's exactly the same in the past month. We'll check the past quarter for this as well. So this is a pretty stable item, right? So you can get it at your low points and make a lot of money off of farming, I guess. Let's check the past year, right? So this item has dropped quite a bit. They were 44,000. I remember when I first started playing Old School, I think they were like 100,000 GP each. I could totally be wrong, but 44,000. And now they're 32,000, so they went down by like around 25% in a year. Interesting. I guess a lot more bosses are dropping the seeds and just the actual Snapdragons themselves, so I guess that makes sense. Alright, we have the Cannonball, 160 GP at the start of last month, and it's a pretty good right now, 192. This is another scenario where it's like, is Jagex doing something about bots? Are they actually doing something about them? They went up quite a bit in a month. Let's check the past quarter as well. So 160, 190, they're still up. We'll check the past year, up and down with certain updates, of course. Some people getting really into efficient skilling or Slayer, whatever. But we'll see the main point, 170 in the past year. They're higher than that now. So this really is kind of like a sign that either way less people are making Cannonball alts and they've moved up to, like, you know, doing something like Vorkath or Rune Dragons, or they're actually fixing bots. Alright, so we've got the Grai Rape here right now, 47 million GP at the start of last month, and it's about 47 million GP now. Nothing interesting, right? But this item has crashed a lot in the past quarter. 56 million GP, right, down to 47. This one will be interesting for the year. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense, right? Because this was like one of the best weapons that people used. And this is actually kind of bringing back some bad memories because I bought it for about 90 million GP on my alt. And let's see, this is probably where I sold it, around 50 million, maybe even a little bit less. I think I probably sold it for about 45 million GP. So I lost a lot of money there, which kind of sucks. But the reason for this is because everyone uses the Fang now, right? Because the Fang's just so much better, in my opinion. A lot of people are just using it because it's so accurate. It hits all the time. And I guess because it's so accurate, it does more DPS. So this item is not being used as much now, which you can kind of understand the price drop is so dramatic in the last year. And this is the item I always like to show last, the Oldschool Runescape Bond, 8.9 million at the start of last month, and it's about 8.5 now, so it actually decreased a little bit. But this item should technically always be going up. This is the past quarter, 8.3, and yes, it is up from the last quarter, and the past year should be a huge increase, right? It's crazy to think that at one point they were 6 million. I remember a point where they were 3 or 4 million, right? So 6 million at the start of last year, and now they're 8.7. This is an item that should realistically always be going up. Who knows, one day bonds might be 20, 30, 40 million GP. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. It's interesting to check out the market from time to time. Like I said, I really realistically want to make one of these videos every month to just keep up with the market, and always feel free to comment below different items that I should mention in these videos. But you know, sometimes you don't have enough time, life gets in the way, you're not thinking about the market much when you play an Ironman account. The only time I really think about it is when my bank drops like 3, 4, 5 million GP in just a few hours, and I'm like, what is happening? happening to the market, or maybe it's the opposite and it increases. I'm trading like Herblore and losing a lot of money, but my bank value keeps going up, and it's like, really, what is happening with the market? But now that I'm going to be playing a main account again, I want to see these items and see these methods that might be really good to do to make a ton of cash. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.